Greetings to you all, amiable students and parents. My name is Mr. Amos Nyakno Sunday, the mathematics teacher, Redeemer International School, Science and Technical College. I welcome you all to today's class. I will be taking you on quadratic equation. Now let's get the definition. A quadratic equation is an equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b and c are constant such that a is not equal to 0. Methods of solving a quadratic equation include completing square method, formula method, factorization method, and graphical method. But for today's class, we will be taking quadratic equation by completing square method. The step involves 1. Divide through by the coefficient of x squared. The coefficient of x squared is the number before x squared. Step number 2. Transfer the constant term to the right hand side of the equation. The constant term is a term that doesn't have any variable at all, no letter of alphabet attached to it. Step number 3. Add the square of half the coefficient of x to both sides of the equation. Step number 4. Form perfect square on the left hand side of the equation and simplify the right hand side of the equation. And the last step, take the square roots on both sides of the equation and make the required variable the subject of the formula. Let's solve an example. Example number 1. Using completing square method, solve the equation 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. Solution. The problem given to us is 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's solve it together. We have to apply all the steps of solving equation in completing square. First of all, divide through by the coefficient of x squared. We are given 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. The coefficient of x squared here is 3, the number in front of x squared. So divide 3x squared by 3. Divide 4x by 3. Divide 1 by 3. Divide 0 by 3. Now after that, the next thing is that 3 will cancel out 3 and we are now left with x squared. Since 4 divided by 3 will give us fraction, we are now having minus 4 over 3x, then plus 1 all over 3 and is equal to 0. Okay, after that we go to step number 2. Transfer the constant term to the right hand side of the equation. The constant term is a term that doesn't contain any variable at all, which is 1 over 3. Now when you transfer that 1 over 3 across the equality sign, the sign must change from positive as it was. Look at this, it was positive, plus 3, it must change to minus 3. That is step number 2. Now step number 3, add the square of half the coefficient of x to both sides of the equation. Add the square of half the coefficient of x to both sides of the equation. Here the coefficient of x is minus 4 all over 3. Minus 4 all over 3. So half of minus 4 over 3, if you multiply this number by half, you will be having minus 2 all over 3. So you square your answer. So at the end you add it to both sides of the equation, both the right hand side and the left hand side, so that if we are now having x squared minus 4 all over 3x plus the square of half the coefficient of x, which is minus 2 all over 3 all square, and is equal to minus 1 all over 3 plus the square of minus 2 all over 3. Now step number 4. Form perfect square on the left hand side of the equation and simplify the right hand side. Now by perfect square here, I mean just go to the place that we are having something raised to the power of 2. Here we have x raised to the power of 2, and here we have minus 2 all over 3 raised to the power of 2. Ignore the middle term here. Ignore the middle term. Pick the x that we are having here with the power of 2. Ignore this power, ignore this power. Pick x and pick minus 2 all over 3 here. When you pick those two places, you put it in a bracket, you raise both of them to the power of 2. And after that, the step is that you should simplify the right hand side of the equation. We have here minus 1 all over 3 plus minus 2 all over 3 all square. Then on that right hand side of the equation, minus 2 all over 3 all square is the same thing as minus 2 all raised to the power of 2 divided by 3 raised to the power of 2. We are now applying the law of indices. So minus 2 raised to the power of 3 is giving us 4. Please take note of that. The minus sign here is also raised to the power of 2. Number 2 is also raised to the power of 2. This is distributive power law of indices. Distributive power law. So that we are now having minus 2 square, which is the same thing as minus 2 times minus 2, which is giving us what? 4. So here we are having 3 raised to the power of 2, which is giving us 9. And here minus 1 all over 3, we bring it down. Then the next thing is that you simplify this fraction that we are having. For you to simplify the fraction, you divide through by the LCM of the denominator. Here we have 3 and 9 as the denominator. The LCM is 9 because of what? 3 is a factor of 9. So if we multiply through by the LCM, we are now having minus 1 all over 3 times 9, which is giving us minus 3. Then plus 4 all over 9 divide by 9, which is giving us 4. Then all of them divide by that LCM, which is now giving us minus 3 plus 4 all over 9. And we are now having 1 divided by 9. Okay, now to the next step. Step number 5. Take the square roots on both sides of the equation and make the required variable the subject of the formula. Now look at this. The square root of any given number, if you have the square root of a number that is squared already, the only effect that it will have, it will remove the square that we are having there, taking the fractional index law of indices into consideration. So the number that we are having here, which is x minus 2 all over 3 square, if you take the square root of it, you are now going to have the square root of x minus 2 all over 3 all square, and it is equal to, for you to do this, you add plus or minus on the right hand side of the equation, so that we are now having plus or minus the square root of 1 all over 9. So from the division law of sort, here is the same thing as plus or minus the square root of 1 divided by the square root of 9. And we know that the square root of 1 is giving us 1, and also the square root of 9 is giving us 3. So the next step now is that after multiplying, taking the square root on both sides of the equation, we are now having x minus 2 all over 3 is equal to plus or minus 1 all over 3. Then you make x the subject of the formula. Move every other number that does not contain x to the right hand side of the equation. Now moving minus 2 all over 3 that was with x, take the number that we have in the sign in front of it. The sign is a negative sign. Look at the sign here, a negative sign. So when this negative sign crosses the equality sign, it will change to a positive sign. That is why we are now having, instead of taking the negative sign across the equality sign, we change it to positive, so that we are now having 2 all over 3, then plus or minus 1 all over 3. If you notice, the denominator of the fraction are the same. We have the 2 all over 3, 1 divided by 3, 2 divided by 3, the same thing. So all you need to do is to add the numerator and take the common denominator. So 2 plus 1 all over 3 is what we are having there. Then you take them individually. 2 plus 1 is giving us 3. Then 2 minus 1 is giving us 1. So in the next step, we are now having that x is the same thing as 3 divided by 3 or 1 divided by 3. So when you divide this, 3 divided by 3 is giving us 1. Okay, now 3 divided by 3 is giving us 1, and 1 divided by 3 is giving us 1 all over 3. This is the solution to this given quadratic equation. I believe that you can solve it now. Now let me give you one classwork, your classwork. Now this is your classwork. Using completing square, solve 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. I'm giving you only 2 minutes to do that. 2 minutes.
Pause it, sir. Have 20 seconds more.
Okay, I believe that you finished solving it. Now let's do the correction together. Correction. Carry your workings and check if it will correspond with mine. You were given 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now all you need to do is to divide through by the coefficient of x squared. Divide through by the coefficient of x squared. And here, what is the coefficient of x squared? The number before x squared, which is 2. So divide this 2x squared by 2. Divide 3x by 2. Divide minus 2 by 2. Divide 0 by 2. So after that, the next thing that you have to do, 2 divided by 2 is giving you 1. So we are now adding what? X squared. 3 divided by 2 is giving us 3 all over 2x. Then minus 2 divided by 2 is giving us minus 1. 0 divided by 2 is giving us 0. Now over to the next step. Transfer the constant term to the right hand side of the equation. Here the constant term that is remaining, the constant term here is what? Minus 1. When you transfer this minus 1 across the equality sign, the sign here will change from negative to positive. Let's transfer it together. Transfer it. When you transfer, you are now having what? X squared plus 3 all over 2x is equal to 1. The next step, add the square of half the coefficient of x to both sides of the equation. The coefficient of x here is the number before x. What do you have here? Plus 3 all over 2. You have to take this sign into consideration. When you are adding, take the sign with the number. So that we are not having x squared plus 3 all over 2x plus the square of half of 3 all over 2. If you multiply 3 all over 2 by half, you are now having what? 3 all over 4. So half of it, you square the half of 3 all over 2. The half of the square of 3 all over 2, which is now giving you what? Plus 3 all over 4 raised to the power of 2, and it is equal to 1 plus, you add the same thing on the right hand side of the equation, plus 3 divided by 4 all of them raised to the power of 2. This is step number 3. Now step number 4, let's move together. From the perfect square on the left hand side of the equation and simplify the right hand side of the equation. By perfect square here, I simply mean go to the place that you are having raised to the power of 2. You have here x raised to the power of 2 on the left hand side of the equation. Here you have plus 3 all over 4, all of them raised to the power of 2. Ignore the middle term here that does not have the power of 2. Pick the one with the powers of 2 and form a perfect square with it. So that you are now having x plus 3 all over 4, all raised to the power of 2, and it is equal to 1 plus 3 divided by 4 is the same thing as when you multiply the distributive power law of indices. You are not having 3 raised to the power of 2 divided by 4 raised to the power of 2, and 3 raised to the power of 2 is 3 times 3, which is giving us 9, and 4 raised to the power of 2 is giving us 4 times 4, which is 16. So that we are now having 1 plus 9 all over 16, and it is the same thing as multiply through by the LCM. The LCM of the denominator here is 16. So that we are now having 16 times 1, 16 times 1, and it's giving us 16. Then plus 9 all over 16. 16 plus 9 here is giving us 25. Then 25 divided by 16. Next is the next step. Over to the next step. The next step is that we should take the square root on both sides of the equation and make the required variable the subject. When you take the square root of x plus 3 all over 4 all square, the only effect that will have is that the square root sign will disappear. The square sign will disappear, and we are going to have x plus 3 all over 4, and it is equal to, on the right hand side of the equation, before you do anything, you add plus or minus the square root of 25 all over 16. Then applying the law of indices, we are now having that it is the same thing as plus or minus the square root of 25 divided by the square root of 16. And the square root of 25 here is giving us 5, while the square root of 16 is giving us 4. So that we are now having x plus 3 all over 4 is the same thing as plus or minus 5 all over 4. So the next thing that we have to do is to transfer the constant term on the left hand side of the equation to the right hand side of the equation, so that x will be made the subject of the formula. Okay, let's make x the subject together. On transferring the constant term here, take the sign into consideration. We're having a plus sign here. When you move it, it's going to be a minus sign. So that we are now having minus 3 all over 4 plus or minus 5 all over 4. And it is the same thing as minus 3 plus or minus 5 all over 4. Then you take this place one after the other. Minus 3 plus 5 is giving us 2. And minus 3 minus 5 is giving us 8. Then you divide it by 4. So that we are now having minus 2 divided by 4 is giving us 1 all over 2, and also minus 8 divided by 4 is giving us minus 2. That is a solution to that. Okay, now your assignment. Using completing squares method, solve the following equations. Number 1, 2x squared minus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0. Number 2, 4x squared minus 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. Please submit your assignments through the school PTA WhatsApp group. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.